Hey YouTube, come on in. Let's walk and talk. Happy Sunday. Come on in. Let's talk about it. You seen the title, All Things Tasha K, and attorney Symone Redwine. Let some people come into the chat before we get started, but it's getting messy. The girls are fighting. The girls are fighting. I've been trying my best to keep up. It's a lot going on. I got these multiple YouTube channels. Yesterday was politics. Today is all the other ish. Gotta keep it separate between the two channels. So make sure you follow me on ChicSpeaks on it. I talk all things politics. And ChicSpeaks, the channel you're watching me on now, I talk all things bullish. How about that? Listen, it's about the balance. It's about the balance. Come on in. Make sure you like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill. Haven't posted on this channel in a little bit. It's a beautiful Sunday in the beautiful state of Georgia. Give it time for the notifications to go out. They're really slow. Sometimes it's like that, but come on in. Great way to have my hair air dry. I got up, I washed it, retwisted it. Cut the locks at the end of last year, so child, I'm doing something different. Don't ask me what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to live. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please engage. There's a lot to be said. So listen, as I was thinking about, I knew I wanted to talk about Tasha K and attorney Symone Redwine. If you're not familiar with Symone Redwine, she's a content creator. She's an attorney out of Houston, Texas. And to me, you know, my personal opinion of her, she seems to be someone who knows her ish. And when I listen to her speak, come on in, like the video. When I listen to her speak, like, it makes sense to me. I'm not an attorney, but the thing I like about attorney Symone Redwine is that she'll bring receipts. For example, she gonna come through with the paperwork. So here's the thing, when someone's coming through with the paperwork and you're going line by line, it makes for it to be a challenge for you to call them a bald-headed liar. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like she freestyling. She may freestyle sometimes, but anytime I've caught her content, old girl isn't freestyling. Like, she literally got her receipts in front of her and she's going line by line to help the people understand. Come on in, please like the video. We're talking all things Tasha K. The reason why I say all things Tasha K, because Tasha is out here windmilling with a lot of people. Symone Redwine is, I would say, the latest person. The latest person she's gotten in the ring with. And so I was listening to Symone Redwine this morning, her response to Tasha K, basically calling her not smart. Some of y'all might be like, the audacity. Not the person who says they repeated 9th grade 3 times. Yes, that Tasha K. Come on in, y'all, like the video. Tasha K basically is saying Symone Redwine is not smart. She's not a good attorney. And the reason is because she's misunderstanding information, pertinent information, details about her lawsuit with Cardi B. Y'all let me know, because most people are familiar with this situation most people I want to say are familiar with the situation with Tasha K and Cardi B. The situation with Tasha K and attorney Symone Redwine, that may be new to many of you. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'll get you up to speed as to what I'm talking about, who Symone Redwine is. Attorney Symone Redwine. She was one of the many people who also provided coverage for the Diddy trial in New York. And she would, have a lot of detailed information. Like I said, sis be on it. She has her own law firm. So if you want to become more familiar with who attorney Symone Redwine is, check her out on YouTube at attorney Symone Girl Is That Legal. So I think the channel is called Attorney Symone Girl Is That Legal or something like that. So she's not gonna be hard to find. But her name is Symone Redwine. So I don't know if it was maybe like earlier this week, maybe. Symone went through I would say the most recent legal documents at that time pertaining to the lawsuit with Cardi B and Tasha K as it pertained to what Tasha K was agreeing to pay. So in the paperwork that Symone was reviewing, it said that Tasha K had agreed to have quarterly reviews of her financials, and after having the reviews, Tasha payment terms, the payment schedule, all of that, things could be updated, modified, and all of that based on the updated financials. Y'all follow me? Because just because somebody would say making $50,000 January 2025, it doesn't mean that January 2026 they're still making $50,000. They may be making $60,000. You see what I'm saying? So now, much like y'all think about it like with child support. Those of you who ever dealt with child support, where you'll see those changes with the child support payments, and after every so often, like there's a review on the financial of the parent who's paying the child support, and it may result in an increase on the payment because now they're like, yo, like you get into the money even more. So we're going to go ahead and grant an increase to the parent who's the recipient of the child support. You see what I'm saying? So it's based off of the updated financials. So in my mind, that's how I'm simplifying things with understanding what's going on. So in the documents that attorney Symone Redwine, you can find her on YouTube, in the documents, Symone reads it was in black and white that Tasha K agreed to have a quarterly review of her financials. So with that being said, March 16th, there was a court date. Now, Tasha is saying she ain't had no court date, whatever. Here's the thing. The court date wasn't anything that was mandatory for Tasha to have to show up to. It was just saying, hey, this is a court date that says we need for you to provide updated information. You don't have to show up, but we need for you to run us the updated documents. You see what I'm saying? So technically, Tasha did not have a court date that she had to kind of appear for, but there is something on record that says, hey, it's your responsibility to follow these instructions, which is you either, one, show up, or two, just submit the financials that we're wanting to see. You don't have to show up. So based off of how Tasha been talking, she did not go to court. She didn't show up. That was perfectly fine. But there was a court date on file, which was Monday, March 16th. So that's that. Mind you, I told y'all Symone don't be out here freestyling. The thing about Symone, I'm about to call her Symone Biles. The thing about Symone Redwine, she don't freestyle. She shows the receipts. So for you to argue with what she's saying is asinine because it's right there in black and white. Symone also, in her review through these documents, believed that Tasha K started the GoFundMe account because she knew her financials and everything was up for review. She knew that, okay, once they see the monies that she's made compared to the monies that she made last year, or even what she projected to make for the year, everything was going to be up. The money, let me see. So year over year. So if we do 24 versus 25, up. So that means that Cardi B would be entitled to an increase on the monthly bill, right? Does that make sense? Like, this is what we're talking about. It makes sense to me. Hopefully you're following. So what she's saying is that Tasha ended up putting that GoFundMe account because she already knew once some people seen her updated financials, they're going to be like, hold on, Kimo Sabe, you made more money. So we need to up these monthly payments, because Tasha says she pays $20,000 a month. The paperwork that I seen that Symone Biles reviewed, it showed that Tasha K's payment is $15,000 a month. Remember, I told y'all, Tasha says she pays $20,000 a month. The paperwork says that the outline for the payments is $15,000. So Tasha, are you really paying that extra $5,000? Are you just trying to kind of put that extra $5,000 out there to, you know how sometimes you pay a little extra on a bill, which is nothing wrong. If you can do it, do it. So Tasha's saying she pays $20,000. Bet. Gucci, do what you're supposed to do. Handle your business. So with the GoFundMe, which when I woke up this morning, because I've been watching the GoFundMe to see how it's growing, and it's probably just shy of about $12,000, right underneath $12,000. So it's slowly kind of growing. But the thing about it is that what I believe is happening is that this GoFundMe is going to offset these additional monies that Tasha K will now have to pay Cardi B when it comes to this payment plan, because because Tasha K's financials is showing she made more money. So her monthly payment, remember I equated to child support, you all. Your baby daddy at the time when you put on child support was making $50,000. When you go back to court for a review and the records show that he making now $75,000, are you looking for a pay increase? Are you looking for a pay increase? Because listen, oh boy, he was making 50 then, now he making 75. You see what I'm saying? So that is what Symone Biles, I keep wanting to say Symone Biles, Symone Redwine is saying. She's like, yo, but Tasha agreed to this. She agreed to these quarterly reviews. So that is what's taking place. So this is where you come in, for those of you who are donating to the cause. It is my belief, and attorney Symone Redwine's belief, that these monies that has been donated to Tasha K, whether it be through PayPal, y'all, Tasha K said the Cash App kind of got interrupted because they thought she was running a scam or something like that. Because I guess with the money coming through, they like, hold on, what the hell going on? So she herself said that, I think it was Cash App, she was like, they felt like some funny business was taking place. So for now, she's like, yo, continue to send it through like your, I guess the GoFundMe or whatever. So I believe that Tasha K, she's crowdfunding because she's trying to get additional monies in to accompany the payments that she's already making. So therefore, she don't have to come out of her pocket for the difference that now the courts are going to have to say that she has to pay based on her updated financials. Am I making sense to you all? Because if she got this pool of money that people donated, let's just say the pool of money got, like, say, 100,000 in it, however much. The difference outside of, say, her 20, instead of it coming out of her pocket, if the judge say, baby, now you got to pay 30, that extra 10 can come out of that pool of the money that people have donated to. You see what I'm saying? So she's not feeling it. She's not feeling it. So I believe that's how, really even before I heard the attorney Symone Redwine speak on it, that was my belief anyway. I believe that she was collecting money to offset that difference that now, once the courts review her documents, that they would say she have to pay. So she won't feel it. You see what I'm saying? Because otherwise she would feel it in her pockets. Like, damn, I got to come off another 10, 15. Let me try to crowdfund. So therefore that money can make up for that difference that I now will have to pay. So Tasha calling this woman a damn bold-faced lie. And this woman is getting this information said about the payment plan and the agreement terms and all of that from the actual legal documents. If you're wanting to see those legal documents, go check out the attorney, Symone Redwine. She's on YouTube. She's a pretty big content creator. She has maybe around, just shy of maybe 80,000 subscribers. She's an attorney out of Houston. She has her own law firm. Tasha wants to know, hey, why you worried about me? Why you ain't in the courtroom? She said, baby, I ain't got to be in the courtroom because I can hit the policy limits without even through my negotiation skills. So that means we don't even have to go to trial. See, that's when you know you got you a good ass attorney, y'all. Side note, when they like, yo, my negotiation skill is so top tier to where we ain't even got to go through the fight before the judge. We ain't even got to do that. We can just go in the boardroom, go whatever through Zoom or whatever and talk about it. And I'm going to get what's rightfully yours, what belongs to you. So she said that's how her skills are. So she don't have to be in a courtroom like that. Now, she said there are moments where she does have to go to court, like disposition, different things. But she rarely has to go to trial. And that's why. So Tasha, hopefully, Tasha's seen her response video to understand why Symone does not live in the courtroom like some other attorneys may. Y'all let me know. I'm walking out. It's hard for me to see the comments because of the glare. So I thought I'd do a walk and talk so you guys can, get caught up on the situation with Tasha. This is just one of many situations that are going on with Tasha. Tasha has her house for sale. So fun fact about Tasha's new house, it was a brand new house when she got it. Tasha is like a neighbor, like where her house is. Tasha is damn near my neighbor. We live in the same county. Any of you familiar with Gwinnett? That's with Georgia, Gwinnett County. That's where I live. I live in a town maybe about 20 minutes from where Tasha's house is listed. I'm familiar with that area. Very, very nice area. Very nice area. So Tasha's house. Tasha said that the house, so Symone Redwine is saying, hey, when Tasha sells that house, based on just the laws and the things of Georgia, because that's where the house is, Tasha would have to adhere to whatever laws, rules, regulations, or whatever that are set for Georgia. And with that being said, since Tasha has a lawsuit in place, she's saying Tasha is not going to be able to walk away with all of the proceeds from the sale of the house. Now, Tasha said the house is her husband's house, Sheck's house. She said the house is in his name. The loan is his name. He has the FHA loan. She's like, I don't have an FHA loan. So when that house is sold, that's Sheck money. It doesn't have to go to paying off or paying towards the debt collector, which in this case would be Cardi B. Symone Redwine is saying that Tasha, in the midst of preparing or whatever for the bankruptcy, had the name and things changed and had her name or whatever, did some changes to the paperwork for that house. So therefore it doesn't show her as being an owner of that property. They did some switcheroo stuff in the background to where it only has Sheck name tied. It only has Sheck name, that's her husband, tied to that house. Y'all follow me? It's a lot. Attorney Symone Redwine, she goes deep. She gets into all of the weeds. She shows the paperwork. She breaks it down. And basically she is saying that when that house is sold, It is untrue that Tasha is going to walk away with all of the, let's just say, the house sold for what it's listed at. The last time I checked, that house was still listed at $875,000. So let's just say it sells. She gets the $875,000. Symone Redwine is saying that Tasha is not going to, or Sheck will not be pocketing all of that money like Tasha is saying they will. Listen, baby, listen, I'm just reporting the news. Please come on in, like the video. Once I get to a location where I can see the comments, I'll get into the comments. But y'all let me know your thoughts on this. Tasha says that the mortgage on that house here, it's in Collins Hill, Lawrenceville. Like I said, that's maybe like 20 minutes from me. If I were to drive to that house, it'd probably take me about 20, 25 minutes. Like I said, it's in the same county I live in. I know the area. She says the mortgage on that house is like $2,500. Her words, oh, we pay that easy. It's no problem to pay that mortgage. She had a renter in it at one point. She said when the renters were in it, she said she had some people from New York who were renting the house. The house is like around like 5,400 square feet or something like that. It's a really big house on a basement. She said when she had renters in there, they were paying $5,000 for rent. So the other $2,500, she was able to pocket that. From what she was saying, if the mortgage was $25,000 and they were charging $5,000, that's how much money she was making off of that house as a rental. Right now, the house is vacant. Anyone who's just a little bit familiar with real estate know that this market right now is not really it right now for buyers or even sellers, because people's homes are sitting, the listings. So when a house is for sale, you call it a listing. These listings are sitting for like 90 days and above on average. Like, it's not like, y'all remember at one point, maybe it might have been even probably during the pandemic, where these houses was moving like hotcakes. Y'all remember, or you've seen in your neighborhood, you'll see a house on the market and within 30 days, you see a sign that's saying it's under contract. That house is sold. You see somebody else moving in like 45 days. Like, that's not the market we're in anymore. I don't think it's like that anywhere in the U.S., but it dang sure isn't like that in Georgia anymore. So Tasha's house has been on the market since January. When you go online, because if you go to Zillow, you can see the house. I can't say, I can't remember what the address is. I just know how to find the house on Zillow because, like I said, I'm familiar with the area and I know the specs of the house. So I can always find the listing when I go to the internet. But the house is located in Lawrenceville. It's a 6-bedroom house. I think it's 6-bedroom, 4-bath. So if you do your search like that, how the house is listed at $875,000, the last I checked, you'll be able to come across the house. It's white, beautiful house, beautiful house. Tasha said that they have not lived in that house since 2023. I think she said 2023 is when they moved out. And she said her reasoning for why they won't live in that house, she's saying it's because the baby, her son, he ain't a baby anymore, but I call him the baby because he's the youngest. The baby boy, her only son, he has asthma really bad. And when they lived in the house, they was constantly going back and forth to the hospital because of his asthma. So basically, Georgia didn't work out for him because of all the pollen and things with his asthma. I know that life. All 3 of my kids as babies had that struggle with asthma. My middle child, which is my second son, he's a senior this year, graduating high school. He had it the longest. Child, we was in and out of hospitals. Always said we had to keep medical insurance just for him, because his asthma was so bad. We had a machine at home. Child, we had everything. So we were that family. My younger brother, he was that same type of kid. So I understand what she means about when you have a child that has asthma and, there's a struggle with breathing and you're constantly having to go back and forth to the hospital. So that was their struggle. Fortunately, my son grew out of his asthma. I would say probably by the time he became like 13, it was no longer a thing. So hopefully her son will have the same experience where he'll outgrow his asthma. I also have asthma. Actually, surprising. So I'm from California. West Coast, my asthma is the worst. Georgia, my breathing is like the best. So it's just interesting, things, people respond differently to elements. So Georgia, the air, everything works for me. California, which is where I'm from, it's a no-go. Where my inhaler? I'm looking for my inhaler. So she was like, with that being said, that's why they could never move back to Georgia. So they got to sell the house. It's not an option for them to move back to Georgia. So the house is for sale. Tasha is soliciting a new attorney. Again, back to the amount of days the house been on sale. I want to say at the time I looked at the listing, it was saying the house had been on the market for about 130 days. So, yeah, that's like 4 months. It was like over going around close to 4 months. That house, but because she was like, Shaq, when did we? Because she thought they put the house on the market last year. Shaq was like, no, we put it on the market this year in January. So last year they were doing a lot of like repairs and things on the house, but that house is out there. So the thing about real estate, you all, is that the longer a house is on the market, the more questions that are asked by potential buyers, because people want to know like, why is this house still sitting out here? What's wrong with it? And then people are going to come to you and they're going to want to try to lowball you, because at this point, they're going to feel like, oh, you really want to get this house off your hands because look how long it's been on the market. Also, it makes for more likely for the buyer or the seller to have to kind of lower the price to make it kind of look better, because Tasha's house, the price got lowered. I think the date was February 24th. So it was initially, I guess, listed at the $680,000. But on February 24th, I think that was the date, it got dropped to $675,000. And listen, the house got listed. Sheck said it got listed in January. So already the next following month, after month two, they were already lowering the price. Y'all see what I'm saying? The longer the house sits on the market, the more likely you're going to have to do stuff like that to try to get the house to move. Y'all talk about it in the comments if that makes sense. So at the end, after it's all said and done, Tasha could very likely sell that house and it end up being maybe around $850,000. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people are not coming along and offering you the listed price. They're going to always try to like, okay, well, let me ask for less, and then try to like, they might come at her like the house right now is at $875,000. Somebody might come in and be like, yo, I give you $825. She'd be like, nah, you smoking, you on crack. So then they may go back and forth and might land at $865. Y'all see what I'm saying? Tasha bought that house for a little over $400,000. So either way, there'll be a profit made on that house, because basically she's selling it for a little more than double of what the house was purchased. And remember, they only just got to pay back to the lender, I guess what's left was due for the loan, whatever the balance is. The rest they would pocket. Attorney Symone Redwine is like, yo, look, based off of these laws here in Georgia, she not really gonna walk away with much or nothing. Because listen, y'all, peep game. Symone Redwine was like, yo, I think this is all it's connected to like the home state and bankruptcy laws. She used the example of Florida and Texas. So she was like, say like in Florida, if Tasha's house was in Florida, Tasha could easily sell that house, say, get her $875,000 and turn around and buy another property and it could not be touched. Y'all see what I'm saying? She said, if Tasha had a property that was in Florida, say this Georgia house was in Florida, she could, if this property is in Florida, she could have sold that house, got all the money, turned around, bought another property, and it would be free and clear of this lawsuit. She said, she used the example, that's why she said O.J. Simpson bought property in Florida, because he knew that the property in Florida could not be touched with any of this litigations and things that he had going on. Y'all see what I'm saying? Listen, child. Listen, I be goddamn trying to learn, and then I come out here and try to teach y'all. Ain't this deep? Symone know her shit. Y'all, it was hilarious how she was responding, because she like, yo, girl, maybe if you showed up to class and actually experienced ninth grade just one time and experienced economics, you would know some of these things. She was breaking it all down. So I think the problem is that Tasha doesn't like that somebody is versed in the law and knows more than what she knows. So it's challenging what she's saying, because Tasha is used to being on the internet, carrying on like the smartest person on the internet. Y'all can't argue that. Y'all know that woman carry on like don't nobody know more than what she know. Hence why her crazy self end up having to go to court anyway with Cardi B. Even though everybody was screaming to the roof, girl, you need to just leave that girl alone. Just take it down. It ain't worth it. You got a family. You got the home. Like, who does that? Who is willing to literally risk it all for ego? Because, y'all, that's really what we're dealing with. Tasha literally risked it all for ego and pride because she didn't want to acknowledge or admit being wrong. Here's my thing, y'all. This is what I believe smart people do. Let's just say Tasha came across some information and it was in an unethical way. Because allegedly the information that she had that was supposed to back up the allegations of Cardi B having herpes was gotten in an unethical way. So we're going to let that sit there. But let's just say you did have information and you got it in an unethical way. The fact that you got it in an unethical way, that says that you can't even wave it, the paperwork in front of your window, wave it like a white flag, because you got it in an unethical, illegal way. So if somebody want to come and challenge you and be like, oh, that's a lie, take it down. Guess what? A smart person to be like, yeah, shit, I ain't got no other choice but take it down. Even though I know this shit true, I got to go ahead and take it down because I can't show my hand. I can't show them what I really got because of the way I got it. Y'all see what I'm saying? You got to think about, how did you get the shit? You got to think about that. So when you know that you got it in an unethical way, you can't goddamn be standing 10 toes down on your booty. You got to be like, goddamn, I got to take one for the team. I got to take one for the team. Go ahead, take it down. Tell her I apologize. Even though I know this shit true, I'm going to go ahead and file it away. But no, she couldn't do it. In my Kevin Hart voice, she couldn't do it. She still couldn't do it. So a lot of people was even looking at the husband Sheck sideways like, God damn, you ain't got no control in the household as the man to even force your wife to back down. Ain't no fucking way my husband will let me just end our whole... We got fucking 3 kids. I told you I'm damn near neighbors to Tasha K. I live in a nice community too. I'm walking in a goddamn community. So I'm like, who would be willing to risk it all for just for the sake of being right? So I've been looking at Tasha sideways really low key ever since, and a lot of people have, because ain't no freaking way. And how does your husband just have you to carry on like that? What man, if there's men, ladies, we gonna do this. I'm almost to my house, so it'll be kind of shaded. I'll be able to see y'all comments. Ladies, would your man let you do some stupid shit like that that'll end up in your whole worlds, everything that y'all done built, your kids, everything, over trying to fucking be right and fight with, and then let me add this, fight with somebody who got deep pockets? Who is signing up to have a legal battle with somebody who has deep pockets? Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way. Nobody don't do that. That woman was on multiple occasions was making requests to Tasha to remove the videos. I was following Tasha heavy then. I was watching it. Tasha literally on the video said, I'll wipe my ass on with that cease and desist. How many of y'all remember her making that statement? That's when I knew, like, oh, this bitch real crazy. Like that's when I knew she was certified. You know how you had these moments when you know somebody's certified? That was the moment for me when she said that. And anybody who's familiar with lawsuits, there's a process that need to be filed. And you typically will see the person who's who files a lawsuit, prior to the lawsuit being filed, they make a legal request. They send a demand letter, whatever you may want to call it. And typically it's saying, hey, you got X amount of hours to do this, that, and the third. Typically when you follow that, it doesn't go anywhere because you were given the opportunity to right your wrongs. Take it down, make a statement. My apologies for posting this information, period. Done, data. She didn't do that. She talked all her mess. At that time, I think Tasha K probably had maybe about 600,000 subscribers. She was growing. I think when I started following Tasha heavy is when she was started covering R. Kelly. She was the first person I was watching on YouTube who was like covering like the R. Kelly shenanigans when R. Kelly was still out running around with these young girls, because there was one, I think Joycelyn, she lived here in Atlanta. So y'all, I'm in Georgia, all the ish. This is, this state is with all the ish. So it's so ironic because with this channel, a lot of things that take place that I'll cover, I'll talk to you about the area and things like that. Is because this is where I live. I've been living here for over 20 years, since 96, but I'm from the Bay Area. Moved here as a teenager. So I'm like, so ladies, the question, would your man allow for you to keep on with the bullshit like Tasha did? Or would he be like, God damn it, you don't take that shit down and act like that we got something to lose? I'm just asking a question. Let me stop my watch. I'm just asking a question, y'all, because people been looking at, I know, like my husband, he's an example of a man that was like, why her husband didn't step in and be like, baby, come on, let's get off the internet. Let's get off the internet. Let's move around. Let's cover another story. Like, none of that seemed like it took place because she still was going through the courts. Fellas, if would you be good with your wife, your woman, being who's rich, who has deep pockets, who have more than you on the internet, and your livelihood, like your house, your money in your bank account, like everything is on the line? Like, would you do it? Like, I'm asking these questions because now, post the lawsuit, and now, Tasha lost, and she has this bill now that it was a $4 million bill. It's down to what, 3.5. She's asking for help to pay off that bill, because her goal is to pay off the bill in 1 year. That is Tasha K's goal, to pay $3.5 million to Cardi B in 1 year. And that's where you come in. And I say you to anyone who has donated to the cause, to Tasha K's Cash App, GoFundMe, PayPal. If you're a wino, anything, that's where you come in, because she's like, listen, y'all been asking for years for me to let y'all help. And so now I'm finally accepting your help. I feel like there's probably been some people who have said, oh, Tasha, I'll give you some money. But I don't think that majority, like there's been like a lot of people who are offering to help Tasha pay down that money. I just don't believe that. I think you probably had a handful full, but I don't think the request was like that. Plus, these people are already paying a lot of them are already paying $12.99 for Tasha K's platform. I just don't believe that. But okay, but here's the thing. People can do what they will with their money. Tasha said her situation is just no different. It's a charity case. And she's like, it ain't no different than you donating to whatever charity. She compared herself to Jay-Z, when he was crowdfunding, trying to pay to get the casinos. She was like, he got millions of dollars. He's he's on record as a billionaire. Y'all, he was asking for money. People she was like, yo, what's the big deal? Like, yes, I filed bankruptcy. I filed Chapter 11. People do it all the time. Like, so she has, so like, okay, yes, you're right. So that's on you if you do want to donate to the cause. What I'm saying is that for people who are contemplating on donating to the cause, just be informed before you start giving away your hard-earned money. Just be informed. Because again, attorney Symone Redwine believes that Tasha K is a millionaire. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that. Do you believe that Tasha K is a millionaire? Tasha K last year did an interview with L'Oreal. Y'all familiar with who L'Oreal is? I knew L'Oreal from like the radio. I can't remember what radio station she was on, but she got a different type of sound voice. I don't know. Look up L'Oreal. But in the interview with L'Oreal, she told L'Oreal asked her about like the payment, has it been challenging? And Tasha was like, no, we ain't missing a beat. And she kind of turned to somebody else on her team who was with her, who co-signed, saying, no, she good over here. Tasha was like, no, like, listen, Tasha was literally talking like, low, like, I got this. We ain't good. I ain't missed a beat. I'm still doing this, that, and the third. Like, yo, like she said this in an interview. So here it is, fast forward to 20. So that was just in 2025. I think probably the second half of 2025, she did that interview possibly with L'Oreal. So fast forward to first quarter, Q1 of 2026, Tasha's launching doing this crowdfund. I call it crowdfund when you're trying to get money from all these different people. Tasha's crowdfunding to help her pay the bill. So it's just like, wait a minute, boo. Less than a year ago, you were saying, I got this. We ain't missing nothing over here. But then now you're saying you need help with paying this bill because you tired of it being held over your head and you want to be able to have free speech or whatever. My thing is, I don't understand how you having this lawsuit that you lost and you have this bill you have to pay out. What does that have to do with how you speak? Because I'm inclined to believe that even after she settled the $3.5 million that she owed left to Cardi, I'm inclined to believe that she still can't be talking about Cardi for a certain length of time. I don't know. Y'all can let me know because I don't see what one thing got to do with the other. Once this bill is paid off, I would believe that you still got certain there's certain rules, things that you have to follow as it pertains to talking about Cardi B. So to me, that part not making sense, that with her using, hey, I need to pay this bill off so I can have my life back. We've been seeing Tasha move around ever since she lost that case, 3-4 years ago. So what are you talking about? You've been moving around just fine. So why are you saying right now, all of a sudden, since you got this bill, you can't move around like you want to? Tasha K has been doing more in her career post losing the lawsuit than she has before she lost the lawsuit. Y'all just think about it. What are you talking about? You want to move freely. You're doing more now than what you were doing before. That's what I'm like, y'all, it's the hustle, it's the grift. So if you want to spend your money, just don't be stupid about it. If you want to give your money to somebody who has more than you, let's talk about it. Somebody who has more than you, then by all means. There was a woman who had, so I don't know if you all familiar with another content creator called Lakeisha. She said there was a woman who reached out to her about Tasha K and said that she was a wino at some point, and she had a family matter. I think, I don't know if the family house burned down, whatever. She reached out to Tasha. She was a strong supporter of Tasha. She reached out to Tasha and asked Tasha if she could profile her story to the winos and see if they can help the family rebuild because they had lost everything with this fire. And basically the lady was like, it was crickets. Tasha didn't even respond to her. Also, Tasha's like, yo, y'all don't donate the money to me because we going to be donating the money to defeat all these different organizations. Stuff's like, wait a minute. How are you donating monies that people are donating to you for your lawsuit to the homeless, to HBCUs? Ma'am, isn't the priority to pay off the bill? There is no extras. You got to pay out $3.5 million. So what do you mean that you're going to take some of the money? What do you mean that you're going to take some of the money and give it to like these organizations? Like, y'all, I've been following this madness and it's crazy. Then she came up with like this idea that was kind of like a Ponzi scheme. So she was like, y'all listen to this one. Y'all let me know your thoughts on this one. She was like, y'all, after we pay off the bill, we going to celebrate. So now we going to have this pot where everybody donate money that goes into the pot. So if you end up coming into a situation, then we'll take money out of the pot and give it to you so you can handle your business. Let me repeat this. Y'all, I'm not making this ish up. This was on Tasha K web. Y'all, she got 2 pages. So I don't know if this was on the Unwind with Tasha K website or the Tasha K, because she got 2. Sometimes, like, when she's not doing her formal show, she'll be on her other channel. I like to call it like a back channel, the smaller channel. It's got like well over 100,000 subscribers. But sometimes, like, when she's just doing like impromptu, hey, what y'all doing type talk, she'll be on that channel. So between one of the channels, she had this video that was probably, I don't know if she put it out, it was over the weekend, early this week. But anyway, it's out there. She was like, yo, after we pay the bill, the $3.5 million, we going to still collect money and y'all, we going to put it in the pot. So then if you were to ever come into a situation, so I'm going to use the example, say something happened and you can't make your mortgage payment. Remember, you had put money in the pot. So then you would be able to reach out to Tasha and be like, yo, I'm in need. I need to make my mortgage payment. Then you'll be able to get the money and she'll run you the money you need for your mortgage payment. This is what she's saying. Who the hell in this chat would sign up for that? First of all, how the fuck do you manage something like that with a bunch of people on the internet? That's around the world. How do you manage y'all? Some people may have done it in their families. It's easier to manage something like that with a pot when you have family members and say you know everybody, you know where everybody lives, you know what everybody's situation is. So let's just say we're going to use the example of 15 family members that are like, yo, we're going to do this. 15 family members, we're going to do this. We're going to put money in a pot. So if anybody in the family go through something, that money is there. I can rock with that. First of all, because I goddamn know you. I know where to find you. I'ma likely trust you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not a stranger. You're not on the internet. Tasha is saying, no, you, and you. Y'all run me your money. We gonna put it in the pot. So I mean, you got people in goddamn Afghanistan putting money in the pot. People in Iran putting money in the pot. People in Ethiopia putting money in the pot. People in Zimbabwe putting money in the pot. People in Cuba putting money in the pot. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because I'm sure she got followers from all across the world. Hell, my little ass channel got followers from all across the world, like everywhere. If you got the internet, you can follow whoever. You got internet. You got internet, I think you Gucci. You got internet, you can be a part of this. Crazy. Drop a 1 in the chat if you be like, yes, sign me up for that, Tasha. Drop a 2 in the chat. You be like, hell no, what are you talking about? See, that you about to go to jail. You about to go to jail. Because it's giving Ponzi. Like, what we doing? What we doing? Let me know. Would you do that with some people on the internet and you don't know these people and you banking on when you're in need that the person who you gave the money to is going to run you some money back to take care of your business? Child, listen, you can't make this issue up. I'm like, child, all right. So Tasha is on a rampage. She's striking channels right now. I don't know. Many of you may have seen where people have been reacting to her Zoom. So Tasha on TashaK.com, I've heard her talk about it like some months back in 2025. She says that on TashaK.com, she does like a Zoom at night. It's usually maybe around like 1 o'clock. Not 1 o'clock, 9 o'clock p.m. So it's like a Zoom. So picture like something like, like Zoom where you got all these squares and, people talking. So I knew she had it. There's been different points in my life that I've had access to the TashaK.com website where maybe it was a particular interview or something that I really wanted to hear. I'll pay the $12.99, probably have this subscription probably for no more than probably like 2 months, and then I'll cancel it. So that's kind of what I've done. it's been probably well over a year since I even done anything like that. So when I was seeing people reacting to like her content, and it was showing like this Zoom thing with all these people on there, I knew, I said, this came from TashaK.com website. Also, my second thought was, Tasha finna be striking channels, because she has always made that clear since she's had TashaK.com that if anybody puts content out there on the internet that came from her website, she would strike your channel. She's always said that. She don't play no games. If you're reacting to what's already on the YouTube, that's fine. But if it's on TashaK.com, nah, you are not able to post any content that comes from her website. So when I was seeing these content creators reacting to it, I just was like, okay, I listened now. It was some tea now. It was some tea. Mainly like the person who was, whose channel I saw it on, I don't know. It was like LTTV channel. I don't know. It's a guy. I had never seen him before, but I think like someone had sent me his link. So I was listening to his content, and he was reacting to Tasha K's that live panel, like the Zoom situation that she has on TashaK.com. So he was reacting to only the part pertaining to the Anton Daniels. He was only reacting to that part. So that is all I heard being discussed amongst the people on the panel. It was about it was about Anton Daniels. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot of information that I had not heard out here in these YouTube streets. And I've been following the man Anton Daniels shenanigans too. I'm very familiar with his content as a content creator. And over the years, I've collaborated and done things with other content creators who have worked with Anton. I've personally never worked with Anton, but I've worked with people like Aaron, aka Mr. Let Go. Who else I've worked with? Just some different people, other content creators, because I've been doing content on the internet since 2020. So I've worked with like different people out here. So I'm very familiar with Anton from his panels and things like that, because I also used to be in like the relationship sector and things like that. And yes, so I would talk a lot about relationships, and then I've done like celebrity news. So like I've dipped and dabbled in that. So I'm very familiar with his content, his shenanigans, all of that. So when the guy was reacting to the content from the panel, I was like, word, like I was really listening, because people on the panel was just like, yeah. And I heard somebody was like, yeah, I heard he got a son out there. Now, that's an example of something I'd never heard about Anton. I'd never heard about him having we'll call it an illegitimate child out there, because it's not a child by Rita, the wife. They just have their daughter. Together. But apparently in this panel, Caprella said Anton is black excellence. So apparently on the panel, one of the ladies was like, well, I heard he has a son out there. So I was like, wow. So Tasha last night, she was saying she's in the process of striking channels, and that they figured out the person who actually shared the content from her website. So they have his IP address. Her attorneys are talking to the YouTube attorneys, because they are taking legal action against this content creator because of the doxing. And she says she doesn't play about her winos, because on the Zoom, so remember the panels, like a picture Zoom. I don't know if that's actually what they're using, but that's what it looks like, a Zoom. So you see everybody in boxes. Most of the people had their full first and last name in the box. So you're able to see the exact name of the person who's speaking if they had their name there. A majority of the people, from what I can recall, they had their first and last name. So Tasha was like, yo, this is serious. These people are doxxed. These people come to my website thinking that it's, there's privacy, things like she is so right. I would be pissed off if I was a part of that panel. I'm sharing information that I think that's only privy to the people who are a part of this conversation, who are part of this Zoom, only to see hours later it's on the internet where everybody can see and hear what I had to say. Y'all, when I say the internet is forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, the internet is forever. The internet is forever. So now these people's names, their faces, are out there. There's the one lady who, what's her name? It's left me right now, but there's one lady who had a run-in with Anton Daniels. This was back when I first came to learn of Anton Daniels, maybe about 4 years ago. They had a big falling out live on YouTube. I saw it. And the woman's then fiance basically cussed Anton out and told him what he would do to him behind him being disrespectful to his woman. So he was protected and standing up for his woman. And yet things just went left. Things just went left. So she was actually on the panel, sharing that story. And then amongst some other things. So I was familiar with her story. But, she was kind of elaborating and sharing more information than, what I had heard her to share before. So, and you all, I will say it, if you're interested in knowing, like, what the hell are you talking about, Chic? I don't know what you're talking about with this panel that Tasha K had. There's content creators who still have the panels up. Their reaction videos are still up. For example, House of Hypocrite. No, was he one that had it? I think he might have had it. It's out there. Anybody if you see anybody's content who's talking about Tasha K, they have a video where they're reacting to Tasha K talking to the winos on TashaK.com. And then, if they might only just clipped out the part with the discussion center around Anton Daniels, if that's what their video is about. They're probably going to kind of only just clip out that part. So that's the only part that I heard, because the person who was reacting to it was only interested in the part about Anton Daniels. So I don't know what else was discussed on there, if anybody else has reacted to other topics that they discussed during that Zoom. But Tasha is like, yo, we coming for you. Remember I mentioned the content creator, Lakeisha. She did a post that I saw this morning. She did that post. No, she did it last night. I think she did it last night after Tasha did a video talking about coming for people who shared that private content. She did her post was saying basically, my apologies for basically, not doing my due diligence, not taking notice of the people's names in the video that I was reacting to. She was like, I basically reacted to it because at this point, a bunch of other people on the internet were already reacting to it. So I didn't look at it as it being a problem or issue or anything, odd, because it's like I wasn't the first person to react to it. So, but she was like, but in all, I should have kind of taken notice of these people's names and stuff and things like that. So she did that. Because on Tasha's video, a lot of people were getting in the comments saying that they felt like Lakeisha was the person who initially put it out. And Lakeisha is saying, no. I did not put it out. I eventually, somehow, I guess she came across it. Somebody probably sent it to her and she reacted to it. She said like other people did, but she was like, I wasn't the first to put it out. I did not put it out. It was already circulating heavy before I even reacted to it. I believe her because there's so many people out there reacting to it. There's so many people reacting to it. But she just has the problem that she's been called out for how she's moving out here on the internet. But Tasha K has had Anton Daniels on her platform and has interviewed him. He has doxed people, done all these egregious things that she's now coming at people, accusing them of. So she's kind of confused as to why aren't you going after him, and he's a man and he's done these things on a far greater level than women have, but you're coming for the women. So that was her 2 cents, y'all. It is a lot. It's a lot going on. Y'all come on in. Happy Sunday. Like the video, share your thoughts. I can see the comments better since it's in the shade. Let me see. Shirley Lee says, could potentially be used to pay creditors subject to sale costs and others. So Sherry Lee said, it's hypocritically, she and her husband have $100,000 in equity. They could protect the $43,000 under the Georgia home state exemption while the remaining 57,000. So I'm like, y'all, you got to get into kind of like your, your state laws. For example, if Tasha K has a home listed at 875,000 as in bankruptcy, the key question is how much equity exists after subtracting any mortgage and liens. Someone said, homes barely even meet code, deteriorating materials. Like, it's a rough market right now. It's a rough market right now. So Tasha's in the market. She's looking for, I'll put it, Tasha's looking for a new realtor. She said the one she has is not hustling hard enough. I don't know. She didn't say who her current realtor is. I saw her home on Zillow. I did not, I don't, so yeah, if it's on Zillow, I don't think I didn't take notice if it was showing a realtor connected to the listing. So it's probably there, but I didn't take notice of who the real estate agent is. But she did say that she's looking for a new realtor, someone who's really going to help her get this house sold. She's ready to sell the house. So yeah. Let's see. Chester said, I almost died of asthma. Protect the castle. Can she help someone in Houston? I don't know if you're talking about maybe if you're talking about Symone Redwine. So Symone Redwine is a content creator and she's attorney out of Houston. She also says she has taught law at an HBCU college. When, because Tasha, when Tasha was getting slick, Tasha was like, why are you on YouTube? Shouldn't you be in a courtroom or something? Clearly you don't have any cases. So Symone was like, baby, let's talk. First of all, I don't have to be in the courts because I deal with my stuff where we don't even have to go before the judge because I'm so tough to where I can get my clients the limits of the policy. So when I say the limits of the policy, let's just say you have a policy and the max pay that your policy will pay out is $2 million. The aggregate, we call it the aggregate. The aggregate is $2 million. Symone's like, yo, I'm going for the aggregate. I'm going for the aggregate and I'm walking away with the aggregate. So it ain't nothing to talk about. I don't need to go before the judge and go to trial because I have already laid it out and said what I want, said what our demands are, what we ain't settling for, and we getting the aggregate. So there ain't nothing to talk about. So she said that has her to not have to go to trial very often. Second, she says that she used to teach at an HBCU and she was making $1,000 a month teaching 8 classes. So I guess every month she would teach 8 classes and she was only making $1,000. She was like, that was no money for her. She was like, that was just, so she was like, what I did, I started building my my following on YouTube because I saw that I can connect to more people on YouTube and make more money. She was like, I can make that $1,000 from one video. That is what attorney Symone Redwine said. She said, I can make the $1,000 from one video. So she was like, here, I'm giving out basically free game. You don't have to pay for it. Kind of like with Mr. What's that? The attorney, the lead attorney. The lead attorney, a lot of times, get that free game and things like that. Because you got people out here on the internet who will give you free game. I do it sometimes. My background, I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So there's been times, depends on, what kind of day it is, what the topic is, I'll discuss things centered around mental health. And I'll do, have the Q&A and answer questions that people have as it pertains to mental health. So a lot of people do operate that way. They don't want to, do like a one-on-one type situation. They're like, listen, let me just turn on my camera and whoever's meant to see me, see my content, then it's meant for them. You know what I'm saying? You're not out here chasing after things. So I understood what she said about that. So she's saying she's still helping the cause. She's still helping people, but she's reaching more people. So it's taking up less of her time and she's making more. She's getting more bang for her buck. She's getting more bang for her buck. So I wasn't mad at her. To me, it made plenty of sense. So, yeah, Tasha's in her feelings about the information that she shared. Symone says she wasn't somebody who had to be retained multiple times. She was actually someone who actually skipped a grade. So it's kind of like to the opposite of Tasha K. She's saying like Tasha, she was kept saying Tasha repeated ninth grade 2 times, but then people in the comments are like, no, 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 sis, she said 3. She said it was 3. Symone like, yo, run me the IEP. Run me the IEP. IEP is it's a an outline learning plan for students typically from, grades like K through 12. So when you're in school, a lot of times elementary school, a child can have an IEP, which what I know to be in Symone said it stands for intellectual educational plan. I knew it as an individual educational plan. So it's either intellectual or individual educational plan, IEP. So it just outlines how a child learns. And so therefore all the educators who encounter this child knows how this child learns, knows if there's extra time that needs to be allotted during testing, opportunities for them to maybe turn in homework later, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you do have children, free game, if you do have children who are having struggles in the classroom, look into IEP. Look into an IEP for your child. Make an appointment to speak with the school counselor, the principal, and try to get something like that on file. So therefore, your child can get the resources that they may need, that he or she may need. I definitely, I'm very familiar with it. So I definitely feel like, and then here's another, free game, listen in. The IEP can actually also carry over till college. So a lot of kids, y'all know they be hearing ADD, ADHD, all of that. So if you have a child that has ADD, ADHD, things like that, so that's a disability. That's a mental health disability. Your child likely is going to, just on the strength of that, they will qualify for an IEP. The IEP can be carried over to college. Did you know that? The IEP can be carried over to college. So if you have a child and they're in high school and they have those struggles and they're going to college, that can also follow them over there too. But you have to have those conversations with your the school administrators, teachers, and things like that. So therefore, it's in the file. So when these colleges and things, when they request for the transcripts, all of that, it's going to follow. See what I'm saying? So that's the IEP. So Symone Redwine said, we need to see Tasha K IEP because it's right now, it's making my brain hurt. I'm not understanding how she not understanding what we're seeing in black and white. Help me, help you, help me, help you. Like, that's the energy that Symone Redwine has. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, listen, I told you this woman be coming with receipts, so it makes it hard to kind of argue with someone who's showing the information right before them. The best you can do when you're arguing with them is just maybe arguing with them against like with their interpretation of what it is that they're seeing. But Symone pretty much has kind of stated, just kind of, read line for line, like what was actually being said, like what was in writing. So it wasn't like a lot of, okay, how she was interpreting. Like, if you look at her content, she's actually showing you in black and white, like what it actually says. So go to her YouTube channel. I think it's called Attorney Symone, girl, is that legal? So it's like all part of the name, Attorney Symone, girl, is that legal? And she's going to show you, she has multiple videos up talking about Tasha K and the lawsuit that she has, the lawsuit that Tasha lost against Cardi B. There's multiple videos out there. And so she's breaking them down. She's showing you the paperwork. And she's like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, Tasha's out here windmilling with a lot of people. I saw a video last night with, y'all familiar with Peach McIntyre? Peach McIntyre is another big content creator out here. She has like a lot, probably between all her socials, over 1 million followers. But Peach was just like, listen, Tasha, you moving like you dumb, because you can make that $3.5 million by yourself by selling courses, like versus trying to crowdfund, sell a product. She was like, sell some courses for $1,000. She was like, I know how to create stuff. And if you were offering to sell something, your knowledge, for $1,000, she was like, I would sign up. She was like, sell some webinars, sell some VIP packages for maybe like $10,000. She was like, Cardi, she was like, Tasha, like you can have all, I think she did the math on, if Tasha K sold like this VIP webinar for like 10,000 a person. I think she did the math where she rounded up to like, so say if the bill was 4 million, with 4,000 people purchasing the VIP webinar package or whatever, that would have the debt cleared. So the way she broke it down, it was like, okay, I'm following you, Peach. I'm following you. So Tasha did do a video last night, and she had tagged Peach McIntyre in it. And she was basically, I think, reiterating that she was going to be working on some products and things. But prior to Peach making that video, in Tasha's defense, I had already heard Tasha say that she was going to be creating some products and things that she can sell from people, like some training courses on being a content creator and things like that. But she didn't have a price yet set for them. But she did say that they weren't going to be cheap. She made that clear that they weren't going to be cheap. They were going to be on the pricey side. But it would be content centered around helping you elevate your brand as it pertains to content creation, and that she was basically going to be on your ass, making sure that you was doing what you was supposed to do, what you're supposed to do in order to yield the results that she's saying you're able to yield if you put that work in. Now, my question about Tasha K is, Tasha K comes off as somebody who has a short attention span. So my thing with her is, if she would be able to consistently keep up with her teachings. Because Tasha do things when she want to do them. And she kind of can, as a content creator, she's able to kind of be that way. And that's the beauty of content creation. That's why I love it over here. Like, if I want to go live, I'll go live now. That's why I like, that I'm a kind of solo dolo, because I don't have to coordinate with anybody. I can just kind of hop on. So Tasha's world is pretty much like that, but on a way grand scale. She has her team, but she can kind of do what she want to do when she want to do it. The thing about like products, and when you're teaching things like that, and it's something that's taken place over like a period of time, that's a commitment. So you have to show up. And it's funny that as I say this, because Peach McIntyre, every time Peach roll out some type of course or something like this that calls for her to have to show up at a certain time, people come through, she always windmilling and fighting with somebody on the internet because they getting on her about how she ain't show up. I remember one time when I first learned about who she was a couple of years back, she said she had overslept. And so she had missed the scheduled class. So people was like wanting their money back for that class, where she wanted to just add, I think she wanted to add the class to the back end. So let's just say if it was 5 classes, she overslept on the first one. She was like, okay, I'll add a 6th one. Well, these people like, no, bitch, I want a refund for that one class. I need you to prorate and just give me my money back for the one class. So she'd get mad and be like, whatever, I ain't doing this no more. And then you'll see her come back and she'll do some courses again. And again, Peach material is always centered around content creation, how to do what she do and things like that. But that's why I say, it's like, if you're going to commit to do that, like, you got to be able to kind of show up regularly, because people have paid their money. So they're looking for you to show up when you say you're going to show up. They're wanting to get what they paid for. So that's my only thing with Tasha, is that she strikes me as a loose cannon when it comes to something like that, to where I think her best bet would probably be to do, y'all know, the lead attorney, because I had his course, his course. He did a pre-record. So it's like it was something recorded that he just put out there for you to purchase. I think it was maybe around like $300 or something like that at that time. So you're, and I think at the time too, he was trend on YouTube. His course was like the most sold purchased course out of out of all the content creators. I don't know, it was something, but he did very well with his course. So I think for Tasha, it would be better for her to do something like that, where she did like a pre-record type situation and sold that. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all following me? Versus her doing something where it's live and she has to show up for the people along with everything else that she got going on, because she still got her fuckery Fridays. She still do some other stuff in between. She still got TashaK.com. She still does interviews. She still does her tours, and she has her comedy. When the freak are you going to have time to be doing live courses that's going to cost a lot of money to people? Like, when are you finding this time? Plus, you got kids. You got a daughter who's probably maybe a young adult by now. She's probably still lives at home. And then you got a son. Like, he's like little. He's a little boy, like elementary, 6, 7. When are you going to find time to be doing these live teachings for people, giving them what they paid for, staying on them, making sure they're doing what they supposed to do to be successful? To me, that's a recipe for disaster. And you finna have new content creators out here, child, starting up channels, talking about how damn Tasha K and got them for their money, and how she said this. Y'all know it's going to be a hot damn mess. I know it is. She need to listen. She don't like Lee, but she might need to put her pride aside and go ahead and holler at the lead attorney and learn from him about how he created his course or something, because I think that would make the most sense for Tasha given her lifestyle. That would make the most sense. Do something pre-record, packages, put it out there. Peach even mentioned an ebook. Like, charge $5. Like, Peach got a bunch of ebooks. I've bought some of her ebooks. Peach, and the thing about Peach, her products be super cheap. But the strategy with Peach is like, it strengthened numbers. So if I set something for $1.99, $2.99, and I get a lot of people, 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people to buy it, y'all see what? Because she's talked about that's how she can make money. Y'all be like, what the hell she get all this money to be gambling? She'll create a package or put her products on sale for like 24 hours for a really low price and make her gambling money. That's what I've heard her say it. Like, that's how she does it. She be like, y'all, watch me. I need to make $10,000. This is what I'm about to do. And then you'll see them numbers run. You'll see, like, this is what she does. This is what she does. So she's like, Tasha, like, you ain't moving smart over there. Help me, help you, help me, help you. You're not moving smart. Do this. So Peach did have some good ideas for Tasha, because as Peach said, you're Tasha K. Your products are going to move. Tasha did talk about she's going to be putting some merch out. So they will have some t-shirts, things like that, being sold. I guess she's, they're working on all of that. I haven't heard her say anything was available just yet. But I'm kind of surprised that as big as Tasha K is, she's just now trying to jump on the merch thing. Because I think Tasha could have had Sean Davy Way. Y'all know who he is. I don't know, y'all, if are they still cool with each other? But I used to follow him and watch his content back when he didn't like Tasha. And I had, like, me and my mom, we both had the John Davy Way little mugs. And child, when he had those, he was like, had maybe like 12,000 subscribers. I don't even know if he had 20. Maybe, I don't even know if he had hit 20,000 subscribers when he had merch. So I have I'm like one of those day one almost type people when it comes to Sean Davy Way, even though I haven't listened to him in a while. But early on when he came on the internet, I was following him and I purchased his mug. He's like literally to date the only content creator whose product. No, I think Tanya TKO. Tanya TKO had a journal that I bought. Storm Monroe, Tasha K's arch nemesis, his mother had a poem book. I supported her, bought her book. But as far as branding with name, Sean Davy Way is like the only content creator whose merch I have. It's sitting on my work desk. My home work desk. It's a cute little white mug that says Sean Davy Way. Cute. So I'm kind of surprised that Tasha hadn't already had merch out there. It's kind of weird. But listen, what they say, better late than never. So right now, that is what she's saying. She's working on getting merch up. So therefore, I guess people can feel like they're getting something. Because hell, I bet you them people who done already made them damn donations, when this merch come out, they ain't gonna get nothing for free. I bet you they gonna have to circle back around and do a purchase specifically for the merch. They're gonna have to. So I'm sure some of them people who made donations are probably gonna be looking for Tasha to throw them something, but because they made the donations. But no, that was pre. You made that donation just like Nicki Minaj made her donation. Listen, you made that from the heart. You made that from the heart. Tasha K said that Nicki Minaj had done some nice donations to the cause. She did not say the amount of money. She just said that one of her social media platforms, Nicki Minaj, came through in the chat and dropped some of them dollars. So, but no surprise there because they both have Cardi B in common as someone who they don't rock with. So that made sense to me. Hey, Dr. J, I see you kind of deleted a whole lot of people in here. People mad. People big mad. Listen, don't be mad at me. Listen, don't argue with me. Argue with your mom. I'm just out here reporting the information. I'm just reporting the information. If you want to see the receipts of the things that I am saying, they are available. They are available. You can go to the YouTube channel, Attorney Symone. Girl, is that legal? I think that's the name of her YouTube channel. Attorney Symone. Girl, is that legal? So she's followed some other, like she followed the Diddy case. But yeah, she's an attorney out of Houston. She's a legit attorney. She's a legit attorney. Dr. J said, yes, working from the bushes. Good to see you. Yeah, I hadn't been out here in a minute, but while I was taking a stroll in the community, I said, well, let's go live and chat. Let's get into Tasha K business. Because she's been windmilling with a lot of people out here in these internet and these YouTube streets. So I'm like, we got time today, cuz we got time today. I washed my hair, had to let it air dry. So I'm like, shit, we got time today. Kids gone with the daddy doing whatever the hell they do on this Sunday. Mama at home chilling, sitting on the porch, shooting a breeze with the people on the internet. But it's a lot. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on all of this. Tasha got her hands full right now. She got her hands full. I definitely would not want to be in her position in any way because it's a lot. It's a lot. But what they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And that is an example of what we're seeing. I'm sure Tasha has regrets, even though she may not admit to them. We all have them. We all have them, whether we admit to them or not. We all got that thing to be like, oh, if I can go back in time. But not everybody admit to that. But I definitely feel like Cardi B is that thing. If Tasha had to pick one thing, it would be that. Because I do feel like Tasha would have definitely hit the 1 million subscribers without the Cardi B shenanigans. Now, would she have hit it before Lovely T? I don't know. Possibly not. Possibly not. But I think that Tasha was moving the way she was moving is because she wanted to beat her. And at the time, they weren't friends. They had a falling out. They had a falling out. And I believe their falling out was rooted in the situation with Cardi B. I think, what was her, Lovely T kind of was siding with Cardi B's side. And then Tasha K, at this point, that was when she was kind of becoming team Nicki Minaj. So if I can recall, it kind of created a divide when it came down to information that was being reported on Cardi B. Lovely T wasn't here for all the information that Tasha K was reporting on. And I think right there, it kind of created some tension between the ladies. I don't back during that time. I followed Lovely T more heavy. I don't ever watch Lovely T content anymore. But back then, I was watching her content and I was watching Tasha K's content. So a lot of this is just taking place on the internet with a lot of these content creators. Because I'm a content creator, I've been around for a long time. I've kind of watched a lot of this stuff play out. So I know like background history as to, okay, when it started to, and then all the way to how we got here. So I'm very familiar with like with Anton, his shenanigans, the different women that he has kind of been really close to. How many of y'all remember back in the day with Anton Daniels, Courtney Michelle? When I came on the scene with YouTube and came to know of Anton Daniels, Courtney Michelle was like, would have been like the equivalent of his ride or die, like we was seeing with him and Mika. It was Courtney Michelle. They would basically refer to one another as their work wife, work husband. They were super tight. I never picked up, I will say, I never picked up anything that suggested they were having anything going on with one another. I will say that. I will say that. But Courtney Michelle was kind of like there first, as far as women who you would see Anton Daniels being next to. Attractive women. I think Courtney Michelle's a beautiful black woman. She's fair, light complexion, out of Tennessee. She right now has her own YouTube channel. She used to be a part of the Lapeef Network. So that's how I came to know Anton Daniels, from the Lapeef Network. And Courtney Michelle was one of two ladies at the time who were on the panel. And Courtney Michelle was like the favorite. So at some point she got pissed off with how things was going over there with Lapeef and Anton, and she went and kind of started up her own thing. She actually did it twice. She got pissed off once, left, came back, got pissed off again, and then left for good. Now I don't really see her on the internet much. I think she might have, I remember she had gotten engaged, so she might be married now, doing her family things. Hopefully she's doing well. I did like her. I do like her. I just don't see her content pop up anymore. But Anton has a history of being kind of really close to women who look nothing like his wife. And when I say nothing, I'm talking about from an aesthetic standpoint. These women that he tends to kind of link up with or like get real close, they're typically on the fair skin side. Let's just say they can pass the paper brown bag test, if y'all familiar with that. The paper bag test, the brown paper bag test. Y'all remember like back in the day, the guys, like you get the brown paper bag and you hold it up to the person and see if they were lighter or darker. If they were lighter, they passed the test. If they were darker, you failed. That was the brown paper bag test back in the day, that people would use when just the whole thing dealing with race, segregation, that's centered around colorism. So that's a thing. So look into that if you're not familiar with that terminology, the brown paper bag test. So to me, I feel like Anton kind of gets close to women who are able to pass the brown paper bag test. Meanwhile, his wife cannot pass that test. He cannot pass this test, and his daughter cannot pass the test. Just say Wynn says his wife is beautiful as well. She is. But do he think she's beautiful? Because here's my thing. If you really think your wife is beautiful and you're attracted to her, why is all these women that you're becoming close to inappropriately, why are they many shades lighter than your wife? I have yet to see Anton show interest in a woman whose skin complexion is the same as his wife's. I would say the darkest complected woman who I've seen him kind of show all his teeth smiling at would be Six the Goddess. Some of you may or may not know her. Six the Goddess is a content creator. She's a pretty big, she has under 100,000 subscribers, but yeah, I would consider her, a pretty big content creator, much, much larger than my channel. Beautiful black woman, just from head to toe, model, black Barbie type beautiful to me. He kind of tried it with her, but it didn't go far because she kind of read him the right, told him basically he can kick rocks with no socks on. And she went on about her business. So she didn't fall for the shenanigans, for Anton's shenanigans. She's out of Florida. Six don't play them games. She do not play them games. She was able to see through it. She called it. She clocked it, like she's seen it, and she got out very early, I would say kind of early, into her business relationship with Anton Daniels. And that went left between them because of, y'all remember Just Pearly Things, the white woman. She's still out there. But that's when, so if some of y'all want to know or may not even know, y'all, we getting in my, hoping my phone don't die, y'all, as I'm telling y'all everybody business. But Anton left the Lapeef show behind Just Pearly Things, the white woman. So Just Pearly Things had, I think the guy name is Nick Fuentes. He's like this racist white guy. She had him on her show, whatever. He was talking greasy, saying slick things as it pertains to black people. Just Pearly Thing was like engaging in the conversation. So people was kind of looking at her sideways, like, what are you doing? So the black people kind of like took a step back and was like, you're not like us, you know. And Anton was like one of the few people, the black people, who still kind of stuck in her corner. And Lapeef did not. So with that divide, Anton was like, yo, I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Because remember, it's called Lapeef Network anyway. So it was technically Lapeef's show. But Anton was like a business partner within it. So to me, I feel like Anton was kind of more of like behind the scenes type. And Lapeef was kind of like the face forefront, because it was called the Lapeef Network. So Anton went his separate ways, focused on building his platforms, which ended up working out very well for him, to where now he's well over, I think Anton might be at like 1.3 million subscribers the last time I checked. And that's just one channel. Anton has at least 2 to 3 channels. And I think all of them are like over 100,000. So he's doing quite well. He's doing quite well. So at that time, Six the Goddess was really cool with Anton. And when she saw that Anton sided with Just Pearly Things, she felt away. And she did a video on it, did a live. I was watching, I was following Six the Goddess then. And Anton came to the live. And they had a conversation that everyone was able to hear. And he basically told Six that he didn't understand, you know, why she was kind of having an issue with him. And he told her that, listen, like, we had agreed that if we had an issue with each other, we wouldn't take to the internet. We would kind of have a conversation with each other. And she was like, I didn't agree to that. He was like, well, yeah, when you was at my house, when I told you whatever. So this fool think that just because he threw some stuff out there, automatically she agreed to it. No, people say stuff all the time. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean that you're like in agreement with it. So it's given that Six heard this man talking, was just letting him talk. And she was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. But she didn't say, okay. But Six was like, I did not tell you that if I had an issue with you, I wouldn't take it to the internet. I did not say that. And I believe Six. I believe that Anton feels that just because he threw it out there that he didn't want her to do that. He took it as, oh, she agreed to it, because Anton is used to throwing his weight and being able to have that type of pull, especially in particular when it comes to women. But he didn't have it like that with her, because this is a woman that's like, yo, you ain't running nothing over here. I don't need you. I'm not your wife. Like, what? And basically that's how she treated him on that live. And I know he was so embarrassed. He sounded like he wanted to cry, because he had called in and everybody was kind of able to hear the conversation. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened with them, why they don't, they don't have a relationship today. And I just think that that's a blessing. That was a blessing for Six. Thank God for discernment, because Six she was able to see at that point what type of man he was, what his character was. Six was able to see that he was someone who was about his money over anything else, over morality, integrity, all of that. Because anybody who was still rocking with Just Pearly Things during that time, after she had Nick Fuentes on her channel and he was talking greasy about or saying whatever, I can't even remember exactly what he said, but I know whatever it was, it wasn't favorable for black people. And Just Pearly Things at that time was just talking reckless as well, as it pertains to things dealing with black people, Africans, things like that. So a lot of the black people fell back. A lot of her African workers, some of them started speaking out and saying that she was trying to stop their bag, preventing them from having their own channels and things like that. Because she basically would talk about how she was paying these African workers not a whole lot, but for them to kind of do right by her and stand by her and work for her. Like, to me, it was giving slavery. But anyway, so, but these are just things that she was saying, that, you know, she felt like, you know, oh, I'm taking care of my people. Like finally those people woke the hell up and was like, bitch, please, I'm done. I'm done being in the fields. And it became a whole thing. So y'all, this was all maybe like 4 years ago. So if you want to know what the hell I'm talking about, yeah, go check out, type in Anton Daniels, Just Pearly Things, or beef between Anton Daniels, Six the Goddess, beef between Anton Daniels, Lil Peef Network, like all of that. It's going to come up. As Triss Knox says, I'm a Mexican American. I just want to say there are beautiful women of all colors. It's not your skin who defines you, but your actions. You seem like a wonderful person. Thank you so much. No, it's not the skin that defines you, but guess what? Everybody don't move like that. Colorism is a real thing. Racism is a real thing. Everyone, unfortunately, don't move that way. But I agree with you. And thank you for the compliment, because I believe that we need to pay attention to a person's character and how they move, not what they look like. You know what I'm saying? Not the skin tone, the hair texture, the length, the phenotype. Like, I don't think none of that matters, because that has nothing to do with the character of the person. But you have a lot of people in this world who don't live by that notion. They believe that you should be judged by your appearance. So if your appearance don't look a certain way, then I don't want to rock with you. I don't want to rock with you. And it's unfortunate, but action speaks louder than words. So if you move that way, people gonna call you out on that. And that's how Anton moves. Anton moves as though he has an issue with his skin complexion, just based off of how he moves, how he treats people. The people I've seen Anton treat the worst and talk the most reckless to have been people who were on the whose skin complexion was closer to his. Let me say that. I have never heard or seen Anton talk reckless to a woman who had a fair skin complexion, whose skin complexion was Mika's skin complexion or lighter. I've never, and I've seen a lot of content with him interacting with women. And the most egregious interactions are the things that he said to women. It has been to a woman whose skin complexion has been my color or darker. There's something there. There's something there. There's something there. It's something there. So that's something that he has to deal with. And his daughter's a beautiful, dark skin complexion, now young lady, and she has to go into the world and show up how she shows up in hopes of being treated with respect and not judged or criticized because of how she look in her skin tone. And unfortunately, with the way her father has moved in these internet streets, I think it's going to make it hard for her. It already has. People have been coming for her looks. I don't agree with that, but a lot of people have been coming for his daughter's looks. I've heard people talk about the wife, but not really talk about her in a way that they've talked about his daughter. I'm familiar with how his wife looks, because I've seen her many of times. I think she's a beautiful, dark-skinned woman. His daughter, she's not someone he's really profiled on the internet. So I just know that she's a darker complexion like he and his wife. But his wife is beautiful. I've seen her face. I love her spirit. She's my favorite Daniels. When I used to watch his morning show, I used to tune in just so I can, hear Rita speak. I was interested in like her. I liked her energy. She's just like Rita. Anton's wife comes off like that sweet lady that you would just like, okay, girl, what you want? You want to meet up for lunch today? What we doing? You want to kick it? Like, she's that. Rita comes off as like a whole vibe, y'all. Like, I've never heard anyone on the internet say anything negative about that woman. She's like an entire vibe. Rita's like an entire vibe. So I just feel like Anton don't deserve her. And I hope that one day she comes to realize her worth and just let him go. and just collect her check. Let him pay you alimony if your child grown, child support. Listen, let that man go. Let that man go. It's time to let him go. Let go and let God. What is it? Let go and let God. But anyway, y'all, I've been on here. My phone is about to die. And it's like my battery pack. I didn't charge it last night. I used it yesterday after my live to keep it from dying. But it went out anyway because it overheated. So any of you who were on my live yesterday, it went out because my phone overheated. But actually, I was on my other channel when that happened. I was on my political channel. So you all make sure you follow me over here. I talk all things just content, just drama, like child, anything and everything. I talk about over here, but on ChicSpeaks on it, that's specifically politics related. So if you're interested in my take as it pertains to politics, that's my larger channel. Certainly follow me over there. That's ChicSpeaks on it. ChicSpeaks on it. This channel is for all of the other shenanigans. Child, it's a lot going on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.